We live in a world built on convenience. 2 clicks, 1 card number, and the world is at your doorstep. We trust the browser, the padlock, the little icon that promises protection. But what if the greatest danger isn't lurking on some dark, forgotten corner of the internet? What if the thief is hiding in plain sight? On the very storefronts we trust. This is not a story about a physical pickpocket. It's not about the crude plastic strip jammed into a gas pump. This is the new frontier of theft, silent, invisible, and absolutely devastating. We call it digital skimming. For years, the term skimming conjured up images of petty crime. A hidden camera, a compromised ATM. It was tactile, it was local, but the criminals, they adapted. They saw the global marketplace, the multi-billion-dollar e-commerce highway, and they decided to build a toll booth right in the middle of it. Tonight, in this cybercrime documentary, we pull back the veil on the shadow operation known as MageCart, the global syndicate that turned your favorite online shop into a data extraction machine. Meet Sarah. She's an everyday shopper. It's Black Friday, and she's hunting for a deal on a new pair of designer sunglasses from a well-known, high-end retailer. The website is polished. The connection is HTTPS secure. The logo is famous. Everything signals trust. Sarah clicks through, fills her cart, and arrives at the checkout page. She enters her name, her address, and finally, the 4 groups of digits that hold her financial identity. The card number, expiration date, the 3-digit CVV on the back. She clicks Submit. The screen confirms transaction successful. But what Sarah didn't know, what millions of consumers didn't know, is that, for several weeks, that seemingly legitimate, trusted website had been compromised. The site itself was the victim. And now, so was Sarah. As her browser sent the data to the retailer, a tiny, undetectable piece of code, a digital parasite woke up. This was the skimmer. It wasn't interested in the final destination of the payment. It was interested in the moment of input. Before Sarah's browser could encrypt that sensitive data and send it securely to the payment gateway, the malicious code intercepted a clean, unencrypted copy. It took the whole package: the card, the name, the address. This clone data was then immediately exfiltrated, sent not to the legitimate bank, but to a hidden, disposable command and control server controlled by the cybercriminals. All of this happens in milliseconds, while Sarah is already admiring her purchase confirmation. This is the MageCart playbook, a term that refers not to one group, but to a collective of sophisticated cyber syndicates operating across Eastern Europe and Russia. They didn't target the banks. They targeted the soft underbelly of the global retail chain. And the damage, it's not confined to small businesses. We're talking about breaches at Ticketmaster, British Airways, and hundreds of other major companies. Data has become the new oil, and MageCart were the deep-sea drillers. To truly understand the danger, we have to look into the engine room. We need to dissect the invisible weapon itself. The weapon of choice is a few dozen lines of simple JavaScript. The technique is called web skimming or e-skimming. The genius of it lies in its simplicity and its placement. A multi-million-dollar e-commerce site isn't usually hacked through a frontal assault. They are breached via one of 3 key weaknesses. The first is the third-party supply chain attack. Modern websites rely on dozens of third-party vendors for critical functionality. Things like analytics, trackers, customer service chatbots, or font libraries. When the e-commerce site loads, it calls on these external services. If the attacker compromises one of these smaller, less secure, third-party scripts, they don't need to break into the main retailer at all. They just inject their malicious script into the third party's code. Then, when the retailer's site loads that compromised resource, the skimmer loads right along with it, invisible to the merchant. Next, we have platform vulnerability. Many online stores use open-source platforms like Magento. These systems are powerful, but security patches are critical. MageCart groups constantly scan the internet for unpatched, known vulnerabilities in these platforms. Once they find one, They use it to upload their script directly onto the core server files. Finally, there's the age-old technique, phishing and credentials theft. Criminals target employees with access system administrators or marketing managers with highly tailored phishing emails. They steal the admin credentials and then simply log in just like a legitimate employee, uploading their skimmer script to the payment page files with chilling ease. Now, let's look at the skimmer code itself. The skimmer script works like a stealth keyboard logger. It uses functions like add event listener to monitor the payment fields. Every time a user types a digit or hits a key, the script captures that input. It waits until the user has entered the complete set of required payment data: name, card number, expiry, CVV. Once those data fields are populated, the script packages the information. This package is often designed to look like a completely innocuous network request. Maybe a request to an image file or an analytics ping, all to avoid detection by network monitoring tools. The data is often obfuscated, scrambled, and disguised within the code itself. Then, it uses an AJAX or a simple HTTP post request to send the stolen data packet off to its foreign THM, attacker-controlled server. The entire exchange is designed to be a digital echo, indistinguishable from the noise of 1,000 legitimate requests. This level of sophistication, this patient targeting of the supply chain, it elevates this above simple hacking. This is organized crime for the digital age. This is the subject of every modern cybercrime documentary. For months, the Magecart groups operate this shadow economy. Sarah's data, along with thousands of others, lands on a secure server, and this is where the monetization happens. The stolen card data is compiled into massive dumps, often sold in batches on the dark web marketplaces. A pristine, recently stolen card called a fulls, because it contains all the details, can fetch anywhere from $15 to over $100. The buyers are not the original Magecart hackers. They are downstream fraudsters who specialize in cashing out. They'll use the cards for massive fraudulent purchases, draining the limits before the victim or the bank even notices. For Sarah, the realization hits weeks later. A frantic call from her bank's fraud department, transactions she never made, $1,000 gone in electronics, another $500 spent on flights. The financial loss is often covered by the bank, but the emotional cost, the tedious process of freezing accounts, filing police reports, and dealing with a compromised identity, that toll lasts for months. The feeling of violation is absolute. The fallout for the retailer is even more catastrophic. Millions in regulatory fines, lawsuits, and the ultimate currency of the digital age, lost trust. No amount of rebranding can undo the damage of being labeled a compromised security risk. These incidents aren't just isolated attacks. They have become systemic risks to the entire global e-commerce infrastructure. The criminal will always adapt. They will move from web skimming to new techniques like formjacking or compromising payment APIs. So, how do we, the consumer and the defender, stay ahead of the shadow? There is no single firewall that can stop these attacks, but there are layers of defense you must employ. Let's start with the proactive consumer defense. Whenever possible, use services like Apple Pay, Google Pay, or PayPal. These systems don't send your actual card number, they send a unique, disposable token. If the attacker skims the token, it's useless to them. You should also look for the single-use card. Many modern banks and fintech services offer virtual card numbers that automatically expire after one transaction. Use them for any purchase from a retailer you don't frequently visit. Finally, monitor aggressively. Set up SMS alerts for any transaction over a minimal threshold. Say, $5. The faster you catch the fraudulent transaction, the faster the bank can shut down the card and minimize the damage. Now, for the merchants, the time for complacency is over. The defense must be continuous. Retailers must implement strict content security policy, or CSP, rules. This acts as a digital bouncer, only allowing specific, pre-approved third-party scripts to run on the payment page. If a malicious script tries to load from an unauthorized domain, the browser simply blocks it. This is a critical line of defense. Next, implement regular audits and patching. The vast majority of magecart attacks exploit old, unpatched vulnerabilities. Automated tools must constantly scan for outdated software on the server, and patching should be immediate and mandatory. Finally, utilize security monitoring. Use specialized tools that monitor JavaScript execution in real time to detect suspicious behavior, like a script suddenly trying to read user input fields. The criminals of the digital age don't need a crowbar and a dark alley. They need a keyboard, a loophole, and your trust. The threat of digital skimming is a constant, evolutionary war between convenience and security. By understanding the invisible mechanics of the crime, we can stop being easy targets and start becoming active defenders of our own digital lives. Every transaction you make is a handshake across the internet. Make sure you know who you're shaking hands with. Stay safe. Stay anonymous. This is the Digital Sleuth.